It is a way to use technology to connect us with our past, the history of San Antonio, and a lot of it unknown to so many of us. We're talking about the Seed of Texas project, and to discuss that, give you an idea of what it's all about, in today's KSAT Q&A, we are proud to be joined by Professor Jessica Nolan, UTSA, the Department of Philosophy and Classics professor and archaeologist. You have a wealth of knowledge to share with us. So let's start by talking about what the Seed of Texas project is. It's an interactive website, but give us a glimpse of what all people can find.
Yeah, so it's an interactive website that tries to tell the history of Bexar County, going back all the way into the origin of human settlement within Bexar County. And that goes back 12,000 years. Even though we just celebrated the tricentennial, there's human occupation well before that here in Bexar County. And so what we're trying to highlight with this website is that diverse, broad history that we have here. We're trying to do that through a number of interactive, what are called GIS maps that layer on historic documents, data, and maps, and allow us to visualize them here in our own modern setting. So we've used that, kind of think of it as a Google Maps for history, basically. And it goes through a number of different phases. We're doing the entire history of Bexar County from prehistory all the way to the present. So we've broken it up because that's a lot of material to get through. And so we've completed our first two phases that go up until the beginning of the railroad here in 1877. And we'll be continuing on with phase 3 going until the end of World War II in 1945.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but some of the things that I think even we're using are some of the imaginations of what this site looked like way back when and current day where these sites are. I mean, that's what really the average San Antonian and Bexar County resident can take from these, correct?
Absolutely. One of the images that you just saw was a 3D reconstruction of what San Antonio looked like in 1820. And that was all drawn from historic documents, paintings from relatively close to that time period, and some of the maps that we found that gave us an idea of what San Antonio looked like at that time period. And so we were able to layer those onto modern maps to be able to show, what you're driving by when you drive through downtown San Antonio, why the city is laid out the way it is, because the acequias from those first Spanish settlers really structured the streets while also providing irrigation for the fields. And so you might be walking by some of those things right as you're walking around downtown or even further out in the rest of Bexar County and not know necessarily what you're walking by. And so what we wanted to do with all of this is bring that history to life, make sure that people understood how deep that history here is in Bexar County and how broad it is. It's not just about the Alamo. It's about so much more than just that one particular site.
And on top of these maps, which they really are interactive. I mean, you can get on this website and manipulate them and change the views and see some really interesting things. But this project also includes birth records, burial records. I mean, things that people can trace back in their family if they want to.
Absolutely. The San Fernando burial records were recorded by priests from 1744 until 1860. And so they give us information like the name of the individual, their cause of death, their castas information that tells us a little bit about their ethnic background, and when they died. And so you can use the website to both get a general sense of what's going on in the community in that time period. What kind of diseases were they all dealing with at that time, which I know we're all very familiar with now. And you can actually look at one of the websites that we've linked to. You can actually, search back in the records to see some of your ancestors. And that goes for the San Fernando burial records and for the maps that we digitized of the early Spanish allotments from the very foundation in 1718. I just heard about a descendant of a Canary Islander who was able to find their original lot that their ancestor actually had when the city was first founded in 1718. And they're able to find that they own the land right in the downtown area and they know exactly where that is. So that's really special.
All right. Philosophy, classics, archaeology. Obviously, we joked before you were on the air that you wear a lot of hats, some of them hard. Is there a couple things in this study that grabbed your attention that you found especially fascinating?
Oh, there's a million different things that I find particularly fascinating and interesting. From my background as a Roman archaeologist, the acequia system has a lot of kind of reminiscence of Roman aqueducts. They were also a way to bring water to different areas. And if you go visit Hot Wells Hotel and Resort, a lot of the structure of it looks very similar to Roman bathhouses that I've been able to visit. So there's a lot of tie-ins between all of those things. But I would say that, anybody who's interested in history or doesn't even know the history around them, there's going to be a million things that you can find and discover in these websites. Every single module has tons of information that isn't necessarily always accessible to the public, and so you might not necessarily know about it. And I would really encourage you to look through the modules and see all of the different types of history that we have. They cover, like I said, from prehistory until the present, and they cover a wide range of communities. We emphasize the indigenous community, the Tejano community here, and the African American history in the city as well. So there's something in there for everyone.
There is so much more we could talk about in terms of this project, but we've got to wrap things up. Before we go, can you just give us the website for people to make sure they know how to access all this information?
Absolutely. The website is very simple. It's heritage.bear.org.
heritage.bear.org.
And again, I want to give credit to who's behind this, UTSA along with Bexar County, correct?
Exactly. UTSA and Bexar County, and we work with a lot of local historians, so their work is involved and acknowledged as well.
So much to learn from this. Professor Nolan, thanks so much for sharing your time.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.